What's up, Jonathan?
Hey, what's up?
Welcome to the show, my friend. How you doing today?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm checking out your song, Glass Houses. And I'm saying like,
All right.
okay.
Thank you.
Vibing.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thank you
man,
for
we both
listening.
get our favorite drink ready.
Hell, you got some coffee?
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
So where are you basing right now, Jonathan?
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
All right. How you like it over there?
I love it, man. It's great. The weather's not so great right now. It's very humid. But the city's great, man. Good people, good vibes, good music, good food.
See? So how do you found your band?
So we started in Los Angeles around 2017 after our first band, Lights in the Sky, disbanded. And Tony and I, the singer of that band, formed Capital North together. And now it is honestly just myself in the band. So working on new music now and hoping to release that here shortly.
See?
Yeah.
Do you put your music into genre?
That's a tough one, man. Yeah, we it's funny because we recently did some ads and had some bands that we compared ourselves to in the ads, and people get so mad because they're like, this sounds nothing like these bands. And I'm like, yeah, well, if you know any bands that we do sound like, please tell me, because it's hard for me to compare. So I would say long story short, probably indie, alternative, hard rock, progressive, but for all intents and purposes, I just say hard alt rock.
See, it sounds kind of too nuanced when it comes to the word indie music, because anyone who produced their music at a home studio can be considered as an independent artist.
Facts.
So how would we say, okay, indie music is more in a genre of, because when people mention that word, they're talking about the feeling of garage band kind of style. 4-piece band, 5-piece band, stuff like that.
Yep.
So is that the direction that you want to be? Ultimately become Blink 182?
Yeah, I would love to have their success, man. That'd be awesome. That's the goal for sure. But yeah, no, I would probably a 4-piece band. I'm taking over singing right now, so I'll primarily be doing vocals, still doing all the writing. I would say in terms of a band style or kind of vibe that we're going for, it's Bill Murray. I would say more Bill Murray style, or even just the how the band works, the inner workings of the band. But yeah, man, I just trying to write as much as possible, just trying to kind of find some permanent members or maybe just some people to fill in. And start getting back on stage. That's the goal. I think our live show is really where our music kind of we're able to showcase the music in its highest form, So I like to create an experience rather than just something to look at, when you're live. So whether it's projections, lights, all sorts of different things to involve and make it a full immersive experience.
I'm agree. I think you and I are both heading in the same direction of how we love to present our music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you done a show in Nashville since the day you moved from California?
I have not, man. I have not. I've been waiting for that day. And it looks like it's coming soon, man. We are getting some offers for North Carolina, Georgia, Atlanta shows coming up here in the end of the year, fall. And I'm starting to reach out to some local promoters and stuff for Nashville, because I really would like to get us out there in Nashville. It's just there's so much opportunity here. So can you tell the audience a little bit of how can they discover you through the process of how the promoter work with you and put your content out there, so they can find you more easily, more than just find you on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube? Yeah, 100%, man. So yeah, those things, the avenues like TikTok, all those, Instagram, great. Spotify is our main one we go for. Apple Music, of course. YouTube, been doing a lot more YouTube stuff lately. But yeah, hopefully coming up here, we will have some shows. So there is going to be like a way to get onto like our email list and get some like specific things there that you'll only be able to get if you're on the email list soon. So like whether it's like, pre-saves or like even the songs before they come out, definitely keep an eye out for that. That'll be linked in all of our social media stuff. And there should be a new single coming out here in August.
Ooh, hot.
Yeah, man, I know there's been everything been trying to stop us from releasing this new music, but we're pushing through. So yeah, man, that's kind of where everything is.
So when you in a band, who is the head creative of your band right now? Who is the seed of all the creative?
It's all me. Yeah,
all right.
It's just me. So yeah, I'm really the only one in the band right now. Call it a band, but yeah, it's just myself writing, doing all that. I am working with a producer that I met through a mutual friend. His name is Matthew. He's awesome, man. He has Avenue Recording Company in I want to say it is Kentucky. Not 100% sure. I'm blanking right now, so I'm a little sick. But
that's
but
all right.
He's great, man. Matthew Richard, Avenue Recording Company. He's awesome, man, and he's actually thinking about moving to Nashville. So we're going to be working a lot more together, and I think he's kind of been like the missing piece of the puzzle for where the direction that I want to take the new music in.
Okay.
And it's getting a lot more dark, which I really like. So a lot more like in the vein of like Sleep Token. Kind of like more aggressive, like the Plotting You type deal. So yeah, we're kind of getting in that kind of going down that kind of experimental road. 8 and 9 string guitars, a lot of impacts, risers, darkness, just overall, yeah, sweaty. It's gonna get sweaty. We're turning up the heat.
So what is happening in your life right now that makes you want to go that direction instead of, okay, ditch the rainbow. The rainbow is not working now. Let's go to hell.
Man, so much is happening, man. I'm going through a lot in my life right now. Just dealing with depression as usual. But my house, I recently bought a house, so great, life accomplishment. But house is under renovation because we had like a big mold issue. So I got really, really sick with that. Dealing with a lot of illness, stress, just financial stress, all sorts of things, man. Just the ins and outs of life, and that's kind of what the band has always been. Our music has always been about. I think we kind of mask it and like present it in a way where it's like, it's happy or whatever. And keep the lyrics relatable, but it's all just about the struggles that we all go through in life that we kind of ignore and that eat away at us at the daily. So I think now it's time to lean more into embodying that darkness and those like more hard thoughts, putting that into the music and making the music kind of resemble that a little bit more. So yeah.
Don't you think people are playing a mass game when it comes to presenting themselves on the internet or even in the social setting? Even you and I, first time we met, but you were willing to tell me your feelings, like, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Which means we have real connection. But if we don't have a right chemical right at the beginning stage, I don't think you would feel comfortable sharing me what you are going through right now.
100%.
And oftentimes people, as professional artists, we're making stuff in an expectation that, okay, if I make more happy stuff, more poppy stuff, my audience will like it more than all this sad music that I truly like about.
Yeah, 100%, man. I think that's a great way to put it. I think like authenticity and being genuine, ultimately, like the human nature is drawn to that, whether we want to like believe it or not. We can put on so many masks, like you said, and we can try to pretend, or we can try to like charade around and put on this kind of veil, especially on social media, that like everything's great, we're having the best life, and look at us, we're doing so good. And it's all ultimately to like make other people jealous, whether we believe it or not. It's not, it's a selfish pursuit, Social media and all this, like this, nonsense, so to speak. I know it's great. It's great in a lot of aspects, but in a lot of ways, it's just selfish nonsense, you know, because we're just trying to show a side of ourselves to the world that isn't real. And I think that's where like AI and the intersection of like AI with music is like such a complex conversation as well. Because like you said, like you and I meeting, it's my first time meeting you, but I could tell off the bat, like you're a real dude, like you're down to earth. You're actually interested. You're actually like, you know, want to have a good conversation rather than like, what can I gain from this? And that's the sad reality of society lately is like, everyone wants to know what they can gain from something rather than like what they can give to something. And I think we need to get back to like really giving each other something, and then also like doing stuff for ourselves too. Like you said, making music that makes us happy, and people will be drawn to that. And ultimately, if we do something for ourselves, it will benefit other people in the regards of like artistic pursuits specifically. So
when it comes to that mindset, how do you use that information in your writing process? How do you start writing a song? What do you start off with?
that's tough. Honestly, like a lot of times songs will just come to me, I guess, as like a divine intervention or whatnot. I don't know. One of our newest songs that I'm working on, singles that I'm working on, actually came to me. The chorus came to me in a dream, and I woke up that next day, and that was the chorus, and that's I've shaped the whole song around that. So typically for me, like tangibly, a lyric or like a word, a string of words will start first, and then I mold everything to that. Like guitar, melody, everything all comes after that. So if I don't have like words, if I don't have like a chorus or like at least like an idea, a sphere of like a semblance of what the song is like gonna be about melodically and emotionally, then I really can't write a song. I'm not the kind of person who can just sit down and like start writing. It's never kind of been my style. It always has to be kind of, it has to start somewhere, I guess, internally, emotionally.
Does that affect your consistency to produce art?
100%. Yeah, 100%. And I think that's where like also the like give and take with like authenticity is like you kind of have to take a little bit away from that sometimes in order to be consistent. And as you can see, like we haven't released a song in 5 years. That's due to other things like having kids and the house and all that. Stuff.
You're a father.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Times two, man. Times two.
Come on. That's the best thing you can do for yourself, Mr. Jonathan. I'm telling you.
That's right, brother. Yep. And that's ultimately what it's all about, man. It's like music I can see as a selfish pursuit, but ultimately I want to prove to not just like people out there, but to like my children, my own seed, my own like, you know, continuation of myself and my partner, like that they can achieve their dreams too if they keep pushing in whatever like realm that is for them. You know, it doesn't have to be music, but
can you help us debunk some myth about being artist equal being poor? Like if you being artist, you're just a broke guy, you never have a family, you cannot do anything. You're gonna live in your mom's basement for the rest of your life.
That's all nonsense, man. I think that's a wives' tale, you know. I think that maybe in the past it used to be a little bit more true. Like, I think that comes from like the self-deprecation of the artist, like internal, we're always our worst critic type deal, you know. Like I can't have both worlds. I can't do this and do that. Like I have to dedicate myself fully to music. I have to live on the streets and be poor and be like this struggling artist, but it's not the truth, man. Especially in this day and age, like look at yourself. You're doing this awesome show, man. You're reaching out to people. You're doing great. Like
I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, bro. Like there's so much opportunity out there for us to like seize it and grab it. It's just about like doing it, you know? And I think that we're in the best time in the world right now to be able to create and also not have to struggle, you know. Everything we can use all these tools to our advantage, even AI, you know, we can use it to our advantage to be able to create and not have to struggle monetarily or, you know, not have a partner. Like you can do everything, man. There, like you can have it all, so to speak, you know. Like it's just
some
about,
people don't believe in that.
I know, man. I know. And I think I think a lot of that's like self-doubt. A lot of times I don't believe that, man. So me saying it, it's a lot easier said than done. You know, it requires a lot of effort, especially like kids, man. Like I have 2 young ones, so finding time to work on my music and time to sleep and time to be at my day job and time to have time for my partner and all that. Like it's tough, man. It's not easy, you know, but if it was easy, everyone would do it, you know? So it's comes back to that old cliche, you know?
That's right.
That's what coffee is for, bro.
I mean, the whole industry of the 18 and the 1900 was fueled by caffeine. I don't think without caffeine, we would have a laptop made by Silicon Valley today.
Big facts. Big facts, man. Agreed.
Do you ever feel any of your action into this point, you regret some of them and you wish that you can done better?
It's funny, man. I was just having a conversation with someone about that. Yeah, I do. 100%. Every day I have regrets, man. And I think that's also like part of human nature. I have like extreme OCD, so like the obsessive part mainly. So that's part of that. But I think like when it comes down to it, there's no use in putting energy into regret though, because we can't go back. We don't have a time machine. And those decisions, whether you as the person who thinks that you're God and you know everything and you know better and hindsight is 20/20, like whether or not you think those decisions were bad or good decisions, those are just terms, you know, bad or good. Those things led you to where you are today. And so long as you didn't do something really terrible, like murder someone and you're in prison, obviously you're going to hopefully would regret that for the rest of your life. And that's a clearly bad decision. But like the other stuff, small shit, you know, like wasted money or like, you know, I bought a van for tour that wasn't a great investment. Like all of that led you to where you are today. Whether or not it was a bad or a good decision, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. You know, you are where you are now, and it was meant to happen. I think that's like another old adage that stands true, is like everything that happens is meant to happen, you know? So we oftentimes think as humans that we know better than the universe or God or whatever you want to call it. And we just don't. And, you know, like we just think we are the end all be all knowledgeable thing. And we're not, man, you know?
But why do you think people still have the fear of even taking just a small action toward whatever they want in life, even though they have all the knowledge from you, from me, from people on social media doing motivational content every day? They hear it probably 30 times a day.
Yeah.
But still, somehow, they still have that fear of, oh no, if I do this and I effed up, some people are going to judge me.
Yeah. I think a lot of that is like nature versus nurture. From a young age, probably. I think like we're all born with like that internal critic though, like at the end of the day, you know what I mean? And I think for like all those people you talked about, like yourself, myself, or whoever those other people are on social media motivating, there's also a negative side to all that. That's like times 1 million. There's people out there, not just on social media, a lot on social media, but like also just in the world telling people that they cannot do something. Or that like if they do something, it's the end of the world. There's so much fear, which is funny because that's literally what the new single is about. It's about living in fear until you die and realizing you never lived. Like you're at your like end, you know. It's called. I'll give you a tidbit. It's called Shadow Grave because it's about the grave following you as a shadow your entire life. Oh. You have to remember, dude. Like there's death is always following you. That's the one constant. We're all going to die, you know, we're all going to die someday, whether that's depressing or sad or whatever. Like you have to take that and use it to motivate yourself, because if you let yourself live in fear, whether it's from the media, it's from your parents, it's from social media, it's from your internal critic, like you need to like defeat that. You need to fight that every single day, you know, because it's an ongoing battle, man. And at the end of the day, if you live and die living in fear and not taking the steps toward things that you want to achieve, you're going to live a life unfulfilled. At the end of the day, you're going to be on your deathbed regretting it, you know? And I think like it's all nonsense, you know, because everyone says you can't do something. And I don't think that anyone really knows what you can or can't do, you know? Like that's all a matter of perspective.
True,
you know?
true, very
it's
true.
It's all a matter of perspective, man. And of course there's things like tangible things that hold you back, like money and health and all sorts of things. But those are all just excuses sometimes at the end of the day not to do something, you know, and I'm guilty of it, man. We're all guilty of it. We all watch Netflix instead of fucking working on, sorry.
I got called out.
Yeah. We all Netflix and instead of working on a new single that we should be working on. Guilty, man. Did that last night, you know, like but you have to like also give yourself grace and be forgiving to yourself and realize that like we're human, man, at the end of the day. And life isn't perfect. It's never going to be perfect, but doing something, even if it's like 5 minutes of something towards your goals, towards what your passion is, towards what you love, towards what you want to chase, doing 5 minutes, even 1 minute of it daily is better than doing 0 minutes of it daily and just wishing you had, you know? So just keep pushing, man, whatever that means to you, whatever small amount, whatever baby step that is, the most minuscule step, like it's a big step, you know, in the grand scheme of things, because you're making a choice to do that. You're not letting life pass you by and then realizing at the end of the day, man, I should have done that, you know?
See?
Yeah.
So you are a father now, Jonathan, and I want to use this analogy to help a lot of people understand the importance of encouragement by your environment.
Yeah.
It will come a day where you will help your children to learn how to walk.
Yep.
And you will not kick them down the moment they fall.
Right.
You will keep pushing them and say, no, you're going to get up, you know, come to Papa. I'm going to stay right here, but you're going to run to me.
Yep.
I'm not going to go over there and pick you up to me. I will be there seeing you, you seeing me. And you're going to walk to me and you're going to be the man on your foot by yourself.
That's right.
But don't you think if that moment you flip the plot and you be the guy in the negative zone saying, man, this child is useless. Can't even stand on himself. What are you doing? I'm losing sleep because of you. And you can't even stand. Like that child might not feel or understand what you said to him or her yet.
Right.
But the energy, she or he can feel it.
100%.
It's altered the chemical in the brain just like that.
Yep.
And that child will believe that he can never walk.
Yep.
For the rest of his life. Just because you said to him, you cannot walk.
Yep.
How can we help people out there when they are building something at the beginning stage? When their parent is not really on their side, the world is not really on their side, and they are alone in a bedroom, looking at the corner and saying, man, the world is just against me.
Yeah.
How can we help these people?
That's real, man. And that's honestly, that's like that demographic that you're talking about right now is like kind of the demographic that I like to reach because I've been there myself, you know, like I've had supportive people, but like only to a certain point where it's like, yeah, you can do that. Like, yeah, I support you, but like, hey, music's not really a real career. Like you're never going to make it, you know, it's too hard, you know. There's so many people out there doing this. So like, I feel that, man. I've been there and I am there like constantly, man. I'm constantly like comparing myself and seeing people doing great stuff, seeing bands that used to open for us, like signed and touring the world now. And I'm just like, well, I suck, you know, but all of that comes back to the same, like full circle back to the same point where it's like, you either take that moment and you let it spiral downwards, like continue to spiral and take you down that dark path, or you just say, no, like I'm not going to let it do that. I'm going to stop. I'm going to like remove myself from the situation physically. Like sometimes I literally have to close out of social media because it's a drain, you know, there's so much negativity on there. There's so much comparison, that whole, like back to the same whole conversation of people putting their best fake self forward. So for those people who are struggling with that, man, I know it's a lot easier said than done, but you just have to like really ignore, like you have to like kind of almost remove your emotion from it, you know, like you almost have to be like, I know I will succeed. Even talk to yourself, dude, affirmations. Like I do affirmations every single morning, man. Look into the mirror. Scientifically, you stand 6 feet away from the mirror because then you can't see your flaws. So supposedly they've done studies on that and it helps you to like actually believe things. Tell yourself, I will be successful. I am going to be a great poet, a great artist, a great musician, a great writer, whatever you're going to be. I will succeed. And those people who naysay you, man, like just don't even pay them any mind. And like the way to flip that around without being negative back towards them that I've learned is like you empathize, like you kill people with kindness, man. Like I used to fight with people all the time, especially on social media. Dude, now I get negative comments and I literally just laugh and I just respond and kill them with kindness. I'm just like, oh yeah, we don't sound like any of these bands, but like, what do you think we sound like? Hey, thanks for taking the time to comment. Dude, they don't know what to do with that. because they're like, they want a fight. You know what I mean? People want to trigger you to come back to them so that they can go back to you. It's this weird human psyche thing where like we just want to fight and win every single thing, you know?
See?
But it's wasted time, it's wasted energy, man. So like take that and think to yourself, you know what? Maybe they're telling me I can't do this because someone else told them they couldn't do what they wanted to do. Maybe they feel defeated. Maybe they gave up on their dream, which was the case for me with my parents. They had given up on their dream, so they told me I couldn't do my dream. And I had to get to a point where it's like, I understand where you're coming from. I empathize with you, but I'm not going to let that generational trauma bring me down and stop me from achieving my dreams. Whatever you may say to me as my parent, as my mentor, as my whatever you are. You got to understand, man, all of that comes from somewhere, some deep place of hurt in them too. Even strangers on social media, they're doing that because of something else. You know, it's not, I don't think there's just like, they're just out there trying to put you down. It's their hurt too, man. Like they're struggling with shit too. So ultimately we're all human, man. Ultimately, all we can do is do our best. But like, if you keep perpetuating negativity with negativity, it's going to get the world nowhere and it's going to get you nowhere. So you gotta keep pushing past it. And it's a daily fight, man. It's a daily struggle. So keep persisting, man, and keep pushing and keep working on your art, no matter what anyone says to you. You know, it doesn't matter. None of that matters. If you feel good about it, you feel successful, I can tell you that your music sucks and like it shouldn't mean anything to you. You know, that's the point we have to get to. We have to be that self-assured and that strong and like resolute in our own, like secure in our own self, in our own capabilities, in our own creation, that like we don't really care what anyone thinks or what anyone says, you know?
Very interesting perspective.
And I'm not there. I'm not saying like, I'm not preaching like I'm there, dude. I don't care. It hurts my feelings, dude. Like it hurts my feelings. Every form of the word hurt. Like, but I'm working on it daily to just be like, I just don't care. You know, like I don't care what anyone says or does or, you know, puts out there or comments on my video. Like keep pushing, you know?
I see us, this generation, have a trajectory that we are pursuing. It's like we get into a point that we are stoic and smart enough to say, okay, there are certain words that I shouldn't put into my mind.
Yeah.
Which is considered negative or not reaffirming myself that I can do a certain thing. Okay. But then we're still losing a very big thing. And I would love to talk to you about it, on how you discover that for yourself, which is individual identity. When you don't listen to anyone, but then you don't have anyone to get information from. Because the part of not believing anyone and not care about anyone is not comparing yourself to anything that is real in the world anymore. Which is creating an illusion that whether be true or be dead wrong.
Yeah.
I use myself as an example when I first trained to play the guitar. I think I was the shit. Until I meet my teacher. And he said, boy, you can't even play a scale right. What are you talking about? So, like, those fact checks is so real. It's like a liver punch. It gives you that real pain that it doesn't make you feel like, man, I hate this guy for saying this. But it makes you rethinking about your framework, your philosophy, your belief system. Because whatever result that we have in life is based on our mind, our philosophy that we embody. We cannot wish to become a rich man and then do a poor man behavior.
Damn, facts.
Or if we wish to become, you know, the greatest player in the world,
Yep.
and we didn't put in 3 hours of work every day on our instrument,
Yep.
then no matter what, Slash gonna look at you like, dude, even I was drunk, I was playing 8 hours a day. What are you talking about? Because remember, if you study all the rock and roll history of the big band, at some point in their lineage, at some point in their lifeline, at some point in their career, there is a section, always, if you pay attention, there's a section called training. No matter how rock and roll, how badass, how rebellious they are, how they present themselves to the world, at some point, they took it like a scientist. They sat down and they studied and they put in the hours until they can do it for muscle memory. Then they go out there and be creative. Slash was not a success until he spent 6 years sitting in his bedroom playing 10 hours a day every day.
Damn.
And then play with Guns N' Roses later on.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about it, if Slash haven't put in that 10 hours every day for 6 years, even if Guns N' Roses come along, Slash will not be qualified to play for the band.
Right.
Because he doesn't have the skill job to do it. So it is a reality check to tell to people that, okay, mentally, you should guard your mind on what you should listen to and who you want to listen to. Because whoever gives you the advice, they are living their words. So look at their life and say, do I want to live like this man right here or this woman right here? Is this the life that I want to pursue? If that is a yes, then do exactly what they told you to do. If not, take a step back and reassure to yourself that, okay, is there anything good for me to learn? If it's not, then I need to move on and appreciate their time for helping me out. But that's not the trajectory that I want to go. But at the same time, in the reality, in the physical realm, there's nothing can beat discipline. Of doing the shit. You want to be the best comedian? Writing this, nobody talking about. I love comedy.
Same, man.
Comedy is the hardest art form if you're thinking about it.
So hard, man.
You standing on stage, nobody, a microphone, 2,000 people looking at you, and they expecting you to make them laugh. Not to enjoy you. No, they expect you to make them laugh. If they're not laughing, they get out of there, and you have to refund the ticket, or they're gonna throw rocks at you. It's so bad. For music, you can get away with it. Okay, it's just not a good show. They say, okay, it's just not a good show. I might not go back to him, but comedy is different.
No, man, they're brutal. They're brutal, man. That is the hardest job.
And nobody talks about the 10 hours every night when they sat down and write the script. Everybody think comedians are funny by nature. Like, they just funny. They just had that chemical somehow. God just gave to them. But not actually. Like, most of us are not funny. To be funny is a science base of behavior. You have to know how to choose the right word, say the right punch, build up emotion into the right point to drop.
It's an art form.
That's right. And I love it because comedy is the only art form where you insult somebody and they laugh at you. Like, how can you roast them so hard and they not hate you and they love to come back and listen to you roast them more?
The great equalizer, man. The great equalizer.
I never see an art form like that before. I hate to hear a lot of successful musicians, including me and my peer, when we talking about music as an escape route. What do you think on that? Does music is an escape or is something you should involve yourself with?
I think it's a fine line, honestly. Because I think a lot of times, like, I use music as my platform, as my escape route to say a lot of things that I can't say in words or like share with people in my life. But a lot of other times, it's an active form for me to put how I'm feeling out there so that I can have other people surround that and form kind of a community so we can all feel the same, and we can all be like, I understand you, I empathize. We can shoulder the burden together, so it's not so heavy on one person. It's just a form of human connection at the end of the day, I guess. But for me, a lot of times it is escapism. It is like trying to like get these emotions, force them out of myself onto a form that I can share with everyone, and that's just the only way I know how, or the way I like to do it,
Have you studied world history, like closely, or pay attention to world history?
A bit, not as much as I should, definitely, but I have a feeling you're about to school me right now.
Not really, because I feel like as artists, I see ourselves as scientists. We are not clowns. Clowns are performer.
Yep.
I view myself very differently when I first step into this business. I'm saying, if I'm going to be in front of Jonathan, I should be able to give him a solid reason on why he should spend the next hour stay here with me.
Yeah.
And that reason should not be because I'm dancing naked on stage or saying provocative stuff that make no sense.
Yeah.
Because those are bad things.
Killing me, man.
Because that's the reality right now. If you're looking at pop artists, why all of them are in bathing suit?
Yep.
Singing and wearing bikini.
Spectacle, man. It's all a spectacle.
That's right. So it's not really what they are selling. It's not the music. It's not the intellectual behind. It's just bare minimum primal sex instinct.
Yep. 100%. Man.
So that's how I'm looking at it and say, okay, it's not right or wrong. It's their choice of how they present themselves. But to me, I don't feel like that's going to be a solid reason for someone like Jonathan. I would love to have you enjoy my music, and then one day your kids grow up and discover me.
Yep.
And you would say, I will be proud that you listen to him. I'm
100%.
glad that you find him. I would love to hear that, because I will become a father one day too.
Yep.
And I would love my kids to consume quality art that will change their perspective on what is possible. Not something that they can go down to a strip club and get for $100.
Yeah. Literally.
That's right.
No, I'm with you 100% there, man. You'll be a great father someday, by the way.
I appreciate it, brother.
I feel that, man. Like that's what it all comes down to. Is there's so much superficial, like disingenuous spectacle, clown, like literally circus. It's all a circus, man. And that's that is like kind of the shell of like what entertainment as a whole has become, and what people gravitate towards just from their primal instincts. So like we can't blame them, because I watch TV shows because maybe I like the killing, or I like the the comedy, or I like whatever, like just basic things. But when it comes down to it, to like art and music specifically, I agree with you, man. It's like we need to like really connect with the actual meaning, the actual depth of things, and it's sad to see the way that music has gone so astray, music, TV, film, everything, but specifically music, since we're talking about that, like it's all just so much basic, superficial kind of garbage, so to speak, that's really kind of muddied up everything. And then there's real people like yourself writing stuff from the heart. So many good artists out there actually like making quality things to consume, like you said, that are getting completely ignored, or not even discovered, or just lost in the noise, So it's like, I agree, man. Someday I try to teach my kids to have that discernment, to know what is just candy versus what is health food. You know what I mean? And when it comes to music, like quality, organic health food, like I want that to be what they consume. They can look at the other stuff, so that if they choose, if they're of age or whatever, and they understand what it is. I think that's the key, is like having discernment. And I think a lot of the world does not they don't understand that. Like, they don't have that discernment. They see everything at a basic level. And that's not wrong. I'm not like dissing people. I just think that's kind of the lie they've been sold, and the charade there. It's bred in circuses, man. It's since Roman times, you know, like you distract people, and then like they don't really understand what's going on because they're so distracted with that spectacle that they don't have the time or the energy or even the mindset, the capability to understand the other side of it, to have that discernment. So I think discernment is the real key, and teaching that, passing that down. And the fact that you and I are having this conversation about it right now is a really good sign, because a lot of people are not having that conversation. A lot of people don't even understand probably what is going on, you know, and I think that's important. It's very important. It's the most important thing. Kids are they're the future, man. And if we don't teach them that skill of knowing how to separate those things and how to understand genuine versus disingenuous, then what even is the purpose anymore, you know?
The good gauge to thing I'm always used to measure what is a good thing or what is a bad thing for the future generation, including my kids in the future, is, am I going to be happy seeing them become my lawyer, become my governor, become someone that will make a decision that will cause life and death to my family, will affecting the economy, will hurt my financially because of their decision? Would I be in trust to have someone with that capability to be my leader? Because now it's our time. But 20 years from now, there's going to be a younger, healthier version of you and me going to be on top and lead the world. It's always that cycle like that. And we have to understand, okay, our job when we are in 20 or 30 is become the leader. But then after that, our supportive role is to train the next generation of leader. I'm telling them what is the quality you need to have to do better than what I have done. Because at the end of the day, I'm only have 20 years. I could not done everything yet. I do everything I can. But there's a lot of things that I still flaw. And you're going to pick up from where I left off and continue the game. But it's hard to tell people about things that will take them out of the identity that they associate themselves with when they have no self-identity. That's why at the beginning I'm asking you, how can we help someone when they don't have an idea of who they are yet? And the only way they get along with their peer is, if my girls like Sabrina Carpenter, then I better like Sabrina Carpenter, okay? If my boys are listening to Taylor Swift while they're lifting the weight, then I better listen to Taylor Swift while lifting the weight, because I want to be included. I want to be a part of that.
That's a good point.
Major art pieces that sell at Christine, sell at major auction house that go up to $20 million, $30 million. Those are owned by individuals that don't give an F about what the world thinking about, why they buying it, because they're so sure of who they are. Same thing, I want to use this really crazy example. Many people hate Hitler for multiple reasons. I don't hate towards him. He do what he do at that time because of the condition that he have and who he is. I don't blame people on why they do what they do. It's not my business. Even if I cannot judge them, because God is the man do that job, not me. So I'm looking at Hitler, and the history with music is, at one time during the World War II, he loved symphony so much that he bought one of the theater. And got the famous composer to come over and play his premiere symphony for him and his lead. So even the most evil men in the world have a fondness for art. Have a fondness for music. So for us to say, whoa, what a responsibility we have to take when it comes to making an art that can make a world leader like that, comes to us and begging us, asking us nicely to play for them. Back in the time when the Roman circus was built, there's two different genres of art, the circus and the elite artists. You never see an elite artist play in the Coliseum. They will sit right next to the official and the emperor, watching the clowns and the fighter, the gladiator down there fighting. But they are never down there playing because they are never associate themselves with that low class. And why do people send their kid to private school? I'm always asking that when I study the Roma, the hierarchy structure of our society and how art fit into that. Remember, all children of world leaders send them kids to private school where they're going to study with the best head in the country, the best leader in the world, the best chemist in the field. They always send their kids to the best of the best. They never send their kids to the mid or the low tier. Why? Because when they get out of that, their children will be the next leader. Because they are the most capable. Not because they are the most favored. No. Because they are the real capable hunter. The real fighter. So when we look at our system and blame, man, why does public school don't have art? Why we don't invest into more marching band, more instrument for the kids to play free? Look at our system. The teacher barely getting paid. If the teacher barely getting paid, how the hell are they gonna buy, their tens of thousands of dollars worth of drum, of guitar, of piano, and teacher on top of that to teach all these kids about music and art? And where the hell is going to be the time for them to play these music when the food on the table is not even full? Their parents can barely put the food on the table, so there's no room for art. There's only room for survival. There's no time for this. But do they have the yearning for art? Absolutely. These children are loving the music. They love theater. They love acting. They love costume. But they just don't have the condition for them to explore that realm yet. However, people ditch the importance of art away when they say it's not really important for survival. Of course, you can live without music for a very long time. Eat bread and drink water, you okay. But will your condition of life, the quality of life that you live, will be as good as someone that have food and art?
Absolutely not.
I'm agree. Art is the food for the soul. That's why we fight so hard. That's why people don't understand this. And I'm still, back then, I was stupid. I don't understand.
Me too.
I don't understand why the hell are you spending $50 million on a piece of canvas? What the fuck are you doing? But now, as I'm looking more and more into world history and understanding our human behavior, I'm asking a different question of what is the benefit of buying this piece for $50 million? Even as a regular human being, when you buy something, you want the best out for your buck. You're not going to take less of anything. You always gain something out of any transaction.
Always.
And for someone that could spend $50 million on a piece of art, they are smart enough to know that they're going to gain something out of this that's worth more than $50 million. And I think what they get out the biggest, besides all the, material value, is a perspective that the rest of the world don't see. An idea that the rest of the world are seeking for but don't know where to get. That's why all major companies, even record label, pay attention. Why the fuck I'm signing you when you are nobody and giving you a $250,000 loan on music? Because I see you have a seed of idea that will make me $1 million in return.
Investment.
Investment. So pay attention to fine art. Pay close attention. The reason why they buying these art is for that idea. That's what most people don't understand. And I hate to see people go to public gallery, go throwing paints on the Mona Lisa, instead of going there and trying to get what Leo da Vinci trying to put inside that painting, trying to get that ideas out so you can see the world differently. Those are the things that we are missing in the education of art.
Yep.
I feel that's how we lead into a conclusion of, man, you're gonna be a fucked up artist, you're gonna be broke. It's because of that.
Yeah.
The rich never see art at that way. The rich always pay top dollar to see music. Look at Mozart when he moved out from Vienna down to Italy for his career to start. Who does he go up to first when he get down there? To a bar? To a playhouse? No, he go to the court of Vienna, the governor of Vienna, and asking for the job because he know the rich people who are educated will see art different than a drunken guy at the bar in 7.
Right.
So we, as artists, we have a responsibility of serving the art to the right people, but then at the same time, educating the public about the importance of art.
Yep.
Because when you isolating two worlds, when you only serve the rich and forget about the poor, you get French Revolution.
Big facts.
That's why Coldplay make a whole album about it.
Yeah.
Freedom for all die. Viva la vida. That's the song.
Right.
That's when you pay attention to the art world. That's why Coldplay was so successful, because he hit right into that point.
Yep.
For us, we have to learn that lesson for ourselves is, okay, for our safety of financial, where should we play our music? Who gonna be the buyer? At the end of the day, you want to see dollar bill inside your wallet so you can buy your wife's food. You can take care of your children. You can pay the mortgage of the house. So for us, it's impossible to say, man, I make music for everyone.
Yep.
But, okay, valid point. You want to make music for everyone, but does everyone paying you? They can watch for free on Instagram all day. Watch for free on YouTube all day. And at the end of the day, who take the suffer? You.
Yep.
You broke, you hungry, you don't know what to do with your life, you're miserable. I'm saying this cycle that not a lot of people are talking about, but to be able to understand it, we have to take our right brain and merge with the left brain.
Yep.
The technical side of how the science behind the industry worked.
Yeah.
I hate when I first learned about this, I'm saying, man, all my beliefs are false.
Who am I?
Who am I? First I've discovered philosophy by the German. I'm saying, oh no, the world is dark. I feel like it's so funny to learn about it, because have you watched the movie Chandeliers?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, what a great movie. What do you feel about it when you're first watching it?
Depressed.
He like depressed?
No, man, it's all about survival though. You know, it's all about basic survival and getting back to like shed all the superficial shit and get back to what's important to survive at the end of the day. Basic human nature, you know? Human nature, man.
If you have $1 million right now and you can buy any art that you have an access to, which artwork would you buy? What artist who you would support for that much money?
Damn. I don't know. I would find it hard to spend $1 million, even if I had it on a piece of artwork. But I think that's like, going back to your point, is like the mindset of where you're at, you know, because I've never had $1 million in my life. So like, for someone who has $50 million, to them, that's nothing, you know, and it's like like you said, they see the importance of that art. For me, I'm just like, there's no way something could be worth $1 million for me to spend on it, because I've never had that amount of money. So it's like, I can't even fathom that amount of money. I can't even, let alone fathom spending that on something. So I guess for me, I mean, I don't know. It would be tough. I guess I would try to buy something like the Mona Lisa, which is obviously not worth $1 million. You know, 1 million times $1 million, but you know, some sort of artwork that is feasible for me to buy with that, but that has a historical importance behind it. I don't know specifically what, but something like that, you know.
Because
something that has
it's
value.
an interesting thing to ask because it just reveals to yourself that you have a limit belief that you could not have $1 million.
Yep.
And even though you just said to me at the beginning that you can do everything, sir, you say that to me.
Lies.
You see, like we contradict ourselves very easily when it comes to things we haven't done yet.
Yep.
When it comes to things that we not have yet.
Yep.
One of the things that I learned that is so profound, it changed my life. I see the world so different. Is that when I learned it from my mentor, but I didn't understand at that point until I listened to Cat Williams. The
Love
comedian.
him, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
He said something with a lady, and that lady on a podcast say it again. He said, when you stop acting based on your desperation, you will start thriving.
Yeah.
And what he means by that is many people acting out of desperation of, I don't have any money, so I'm going to do anything I can to get money.
Yep.
Or if I don't have love, I will go out and talk to many female as I can to get the love I need.
Yep.
Or if I don't have any friends, so I will go out and make friends with whoever I can make friends with. And stop using my brain. And what he said out of that is, no, you always have your talent and your brain to lean into.
Yep.
When you start acting out of your talent, you start to curate your list of friends that will vibe with you for who you are, for what you created. You will have a list of clients, customer, audience, listener that will vibe with the value that you hold for yourself.
Yep.
And you will find a lover that have the same mindsets as you are to follow and support your ideology.
Yep.
But the first step is to stop acting out of desperation. You are not broke because you have no money. You are broke because you have no identity. You don't know who you are. You don't even know what to sell. You don't even know what to give to the world.
Right.
Good example, if God show up to your door today with a briefcase, $250,000 in there, regular briefcase, and say, all right, Jonathan, I have this cash ready for you, my man. Tell me what you have done. Tell me what you have become. That make me feel like that is a solid reason for me to keep blessing you. Even though God loves you unconditionally.
Right.
But for that day, he just want to check in to see how much progress you have made for yourself.
Right.
Coming in with this big bag of this money will last you for the next 5 years. To continue your life, living the way you want to live. But I want to make sure that the way that you are living is toward a better ending. So I coming in right now with this briefcase and I say, okay, are you eating healthy? Are you going out exercise as you said you would? Have you worked on the music? Have you reaching out to people? Have you talked to your kids more? And if they keep X, no. At the end of the day, God will look at you dead in the face and say, son, I love you really much. But I don't think this money, you should have it. Because you just make me feel like you not take me seriously.
Yep.
I'm come here with the money in my hand. And you telling me for all these time, I'm giving you my time, my effort, waiting for you, being patient, watching you growing, watching you, ascending up the level. Right now, I coming in ready for you for the next step. And you're telling me that you're not ready. You're telling me that you haven't done it. And I feel like that should be in the back of all professional minds.
Yeah.
Is that you not compare yourself with someone else, but you compare yourself to what God wants you to do and what God knows that you could do. That's the only way to get out of depression. I'm kind of feeling a little bit sad when I hear that such a man like you have depression. I know that it's real. I don't say that it's fake.
Yeah.
But there must be a way that you and we can figure something out. I want
100%.
to see you live a more positive life out of that.
Thank you, brother.
Because in Chandeliers, you're watching it, all these people see is death.
Yep.
They're going to put me in the chamber with gas in it and kill me, or they're going to take me to the field and shoot me.
Yep.
That's going to be the only two ways that I'm going to die. If I'm not want to die, then I have to do whatever they tell me to do, which is slave and work to death. So I'm going to die anyway. Anything that I can do, anything that in my ability to control is leading me towards death.
Yep.
That is real depression.
Yeah.
Because
that's a real reason to be depressed.
That's
sure.
a real reason to be,
Yeah.
oh man. But most of us, we don't have that problem.
Yeah.
Most of us, we have the ability to control our sailboat and lean to a different direction if we don't like the direction that we're going in.
Yep.
So I don't say that depression is not curable. It's curable. But you need to surround yourself with people that can help you sail your boat. Someone can see you from a bird's eye view. Someone can give you the love and the facts in a way that is digestible.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
100%.
The hope is so real. Like, we need to have the hope. Hope is the only thing why we keep believing what we believe in. Why we keep waking up, why we keep doing things when we don't feel like we want to do it.
Yep.
The hope of something better. I used to be an atheist.
Damn.
I don't believe in God. Not because I don't believe in God, but I was surrounded by people who don't believe in God.
Yep.
So
you become that identity.
I become that identity. I don't know myself. And then I surround myself with a few folks that talking about God, and they asking me, why don't you believe in God? What is your reason for not believing this supernatural human being that love all and great all? And I sat down and I be real to myself and I say, I don't know.
Yep.
I just keep believing whatever people telling me without actually reflecting and know what is real and what is not.
Right. Right.
So on that day, they telling me, then try this. And you can go back to wherever you want to be if you feel this not efficient. Try to go home tonight and pray. Whatever you want, whatever struggling that you're going through. You pray to God and you're telling him, man, God, I'm going through this right now. I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm hopeless. I don't find a way out. And I want you to show me the way out. And you're doing that with all of your heart in it. And I did. It does not magically happen like movie scene. Like, ooh, magic, problem solved. Smoke coming out, Jesus happened, right there, boom. It does not happen like that, but great story, God's work in a magical way. A few days later, I'm taking a walk. Just a regular afternoon walk, after dinner. And my mind was clear. I was being able to vibrate at a level where I can see things differently. I can hear things that I never hear before. And I find a way to go through it. And that is how I start to find an identity through someone that is smarter than me.
Yeah.
I feel like the part of identity development start from a very young age, which is why father figure is very important.
Yep.
Both parents are there, so the kids know someone to run back to when they have question.
Yep.
If you not believe in God, it's kind of fucked up because when you not and you run and you run into some huddle that you cannot get out by yourself.
Yeah.
You don't know who to ask in this brutal world. Everybody is selfish. Everybody is taking things for themselves.
Yep.
And nobody give a damn about you if you don't bring them money.
100%.
That's just a fact that we're living in. We have to deal with that.
That's innate human sin, man. You know?
But if you believe in God, then you have two people to believe in, yourself and God.
Yep.
If you lose yourself, which means you lose one of the forces, you still have God to ask the question of who am I?
Yeah.
And why am I here? What am I supposed to do now if I am that person? Because without God, now you in a deep black hole with no bottom. You're just gonna kill yourself the next day.
Yep. That's when evil takes over.
That's the evil takeover. That's why so many people are not talking about mental health enough when it comes to men.
Yep.
It's the cure for depression is to have somebody to go back to. It's not taking antidepressant drug. It's not about go to your therapist. Remember, therapist is just the same way of have someone that is safe enough for you to go back to, tell your problems without feeling judged.
Yep.
And God is already there for free. Why the hell are you spending $700 a month to go to seek for help where you have someone do a much better job and can grant wishes in an incredible way for free?
Yep. And those people are just human too. You know, they're just human too. So they need someone to go back to, which is the most hilarious thing about therapy is like, I've been done all that my entire life, man. And like, I come back to the same thing every single time. They're just a human too that is flawed as well. And to your point, you need something higher than yourself, someone who is all knowing, someone who's omnipresent, omniscient, and all around us at all times to lean on, you know, whatever that may be. I think a lot of that is frequency. That's what I like. A lot of what I chalk it up to is like you said earlier, use the word vibrate. Vibrating at that higher frequency. And when you are physically unable or mentally unable to, having that backup, which is God, that's your pillar to land on all the time.
Do you believe music is the language of God? It's the language of the universe?
I've never, I guess, thought about it that way, but 100% it makes sense, man. It makes sense. It's the all connecting thing, no matter what our differences, like art, music, like you said, that's that feeling. That emotion. It's almost like a different sense, you know, right. Or like a sense that ties all of our senses together, you know?
For all the other art forms, I don't say that they are bad, but for music, it's very special because you don't need to know English to listen to an English song.
Yep.
And feel the same feelings as someone that is a native to the language.
Yep.
And even if it has no lyrics in the song, even you just hear the melody and you feel the emotion behind it, your heart, your brain, and your soul vibrates at a different frequency to match that energy.
Yep.
We are like the musician, beside the fact that we jump up and down acting crazy. We, in a sense, is more on the healing part. If you're looking at it.
Yep.
We cure a lot of problem in the soul. Why they seek for escape? Not because they want to run away, but they want to run to someone that can heal them. That's the psychology behind why people listen to music for escape.
Yep.
I hate the idea at first because I think escape is like running away from something and never want to face it.
Right.
But for music, the escape in music is, I'm dealing with this right now. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to solve it. So I come to music and let music vibrate me and heal me into an optimal state where I can see the world differently. I can see an answer when I was in the sadness. I cannot see it.
Yep.
That's why when you feel bad, you listen to a record that you like.
Yep.
And then after that, you feel, oh, shoot, nothing happened. Nothing happened. These things are, not breaking a sweat.
Yep.
Do you listen to album from A to Z? Or you pick out single and you listen to them?
I'm really bad. I'm like an ADD song listener, man. So I'm always like, when I listen to music, I always just like, I have a saved Spotify playlist and I literally I add songs to it constantly and then I just shuffle the whole thing all the time. So Unless it's a band that I'm like very much a fan of and they drop an album that I've been looking forward to for a long time, then I'll listen to A to Z. But typically no. And I think albums are kind of, I don't want to say dead, but I think albums are less important or less impactful, let's say, these days, unfortunately, you know.
Have you ever received any value from listening to something from head to toe, like reading a book from cover to cover?
Yeah, 100%. I think specifically when it's like a concept album, really immersing yourself in that and taking like the time to like understand and kind of live in it, just like you would a book, you know, from the start of the story to the climax to the resolution to the, you know, message of the story. Like that's all relative and applicable to music as well. I get a lot of value from that. But I think you can get a lot of that value too, even from just like a song, you know? I think it like, depending on what you're consuming, if it's quality, obviously, not like listening to Cardi B. No hate to her, but
I like it like that.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like, but people don't even know what they're singing or like why they're listening to it. And talk about frequencies, man. That's like a whole different conversation of like the war of frequencies within music.
Tell me about it.
Oh, that's a crazy one, man. I don't know like specifically the exact numbers of the frequencies, but I know somewhere like along the way, music, like popular music, the frequency was changed to be like a less healing. I think it's 444 or 44 something. It was switched. So like when you listen to that music, you're vibrating at that lower frequency, which is ultimately like low frequency is what lets in all of our negativity and our depression and our basic, you know, thoughts of, you know, wanting to go out and just have sex or, you know, do whatever, be a bad person. And that's what all this, like, a lot of this, like, music is these days, man. It's just super superficial stuff. That's just negative frequency, you know? And you could feel it if you pay attention to it. You can really feel it. I love Drake, man. Like, all of
He said, I love Drake.
Dude, I love Drake. Like,
you used to call me on the cell.
Yeah, dude, I'll vibe to that. But I can feel, like, my energy and I can feel, like, my inner thoughts, myself start to drift away. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, like, start to look at, like, you know, some thotties and some baddies online and, like, start to almost take on his persona that he's projecting. And that's like you start to realize like that they're putting that into like the ethereal kind of frequency of the world. And so if everyone's vibrating at that frequency, we're interacting with people at that frequency, then we ourselves start to embody that. And that's what's starting to like, I guess, the death of God, the death of the belief in God, and more of the birth of self-serving human nature of the devil or whatever you want to call it, of we're going to do whatever puts us first, what makes us feel good, live in your senses, go out there and have sex with whoever, go out there and gamble, go out there and do things that make you feel good, do drugs, it's good, all these people are doing it, you know, that's cool. Right. It's like all of these temptations, man, and that's what all of that, I don't know if that's on purpose, I think so, I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I think so, but that's the reality of things when you look at it, you know, that's undeniable, and it's case in point, our world. Just look at the world today, you know.
I don't think it's a conspiracy. If you're thinking about it, the rappers on many songs nowadays, on the top 100, if you can find a song without popping a smoke or anything with marijuana involved in it, it's going to be really hard. And thinking about it, in the United States, California and many other states have started to legalize marijuana consumption and production. And remember, if there's a producer, we need a distributor, which is some got to sell it, and a marketer. Some want to advertising for this stuff that is good. Before that, the only use for marijuana is in medicine or animal feeds. But because we create so much of it and some people started smoking it and see, it made me feel good. So we start to say, okay, maybe this thing is natural because come up the ground and God created, so we gonna smoke it. But there's study on marijuana in long term. It does make your brain go delulu after a long time because God already created you perfect.
Yep.
And remember, we're using them for medical purposes in the first place. It's not for something for daily consumption.
For enjoyment.
That's right, not enjoyment. Even in the Bible, there's no place in there say using marijuana for joy and happiness. I don't see it. Anywhere in the world, using drug is something taboo. It's illegal. At first, all these rappers are buying illegal weeds. Just to say that, straight up. All of the stuff that they buy are illegal. From fentanyl to weeds. All of them are illegal. That's why so many of them dies of overdose because they don't know what the hell they are doing.
Yep.
And many of them don't know how to deal with their depression, their struggle in the right way. So they either drink too much, let their liver fail, or do too much drug and they overdose.
Self-medicate, man.
That's right. So common. We see it all the time. And right now, somehow, because of the production of music is so good, it makes the topic less taboo for some rapper going up, I'm smoking, 2 pounds a day and I will, all right. And say, dude, your lungs look worse than a fine, nice cigar. It looks like brown sugar. What are you talking about?
Facts.
That's right. Like, because young people, anyone that have not developed an identity, like I said, it's an identity crisis.
Yep.
That's what we need to recognize and say in the right term. It's an identity crisis when there's no one in the early stage of development for the children to look up to. No father, no mother, no uncle, no one that is around that's spitting the facts. They will start look at the one that the most successful. Because it's an indication that these guy or these gal are doing something right.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. That's why they're rich. That's why they get the car. That's why they get the bitches. That's why they get all that's why they get all these clothes that they are wearing.
Yep.
Remember, our primal instinct love flashy stuff and good and food that smell good.
Yep.
It's just what it is. But just because things are hard to get, it does not mean it's the right thing to do.
Yep.
To be great, even right now, if you want to be the United States president, if you have a drug record, out the gate, gone. If you have a criminal record, gone. Doesn't matter how many degrees you held.
Yep.
Doesn't matter how many good stuff you have done. Just because you are a criminal, just because you're doing illegal activity in the past, you are now not a pure person anymore. You are disqualified. And right now, so many of these people going around listen to these kind of music and behavior and say, you know what? Acting out of desperation because I cannot get a regular job that pay me well and I'm sucked, but I don't want to admit to it and I want to make money fast.
Yep.
So I got to follow these rappers. I got to start rapping. I got to start, to move the way they move. Got to start selling drugs. Got to start selling the things that they are telling me to do. Fast lane lead to hell, I'm telling you. Fast lane lead to hell. All gangster, big or small around the world. I'm from Asia. Gangster is the shit over there.
Yep.
They love the culture, the history of it. But remember, all gangster main goal at the end of the day, this is based on 50 Cent. He said it so well. He said the main goal at the end of the day is to make enough money that you don't have to work for anyone anymore and go legit.
Yep.
Even the most gangster rapper in the history of America say that in a two-piece suit.
Yep.
He not dragging big chains or pulling down pants or nothing. He dressed like a lawyer and say that to the public as the most badass gangster rapping in the industry and say, no. The only road that these things gonna go down to is either death or jail.
Yep.
There's no good in it. So stop doing it.
Yeah, literally. Literally, man.
because of identity crisis, because of social media, because of losing education.
Yep.
These things are more digestible than listen to a philosopher preaching for 10 hours, even though it's the right thing to do.
Yep. Even though that's the actual medicine that we need,
Correct.
And form that identity and not take on these false identities.
You will have a problem convincing your kid eat broccoli when they say, no, I'm going to get a Tic Tac instead. I'm going to get a, Kit Kat, some chocolate, some Snicker bar instead, because it's easy to consume.
Yep.
But is it good for you in long term? Not really. Nope. Diabetes right next door.
Yep.
Obesity right next door. So those are the things why as us, as developed men, grown men that have identity, making our living life, we have to be able to stand firm on who we are. We have mutual respect for what we like, what we not like. But for Jonathan and I, we both know what we like and who we are at the end of the day. Yep. And we stand firm on the value that we hold for ourselves. And we understand why we're doing that.
Yep.
Most people acting out of desperation and don't understand why they're doing it.
Yep.
Just because my friend listened to Lil Pump, I gotta listen to Lil Pump. I gotta go with that Gucci gang,
Get some face tats and
That's right.
Be famous,
That's right. It's crazy. And even though right now, in the state of our country, how do you feel it as an American? Live in the land of the free. As an artist, doing a job that millions of people wish to do, the kind of job that you do for a living. How do you feel to live in America?
Oh man, it's a tough thing, man. I've traveled a lot, so I've been lucky enough to see other parts of the world to help me kind of form a more rounded understanding of that, and I see the good and the bad, and I'm not blinded to think that America is the best country in the world, because it's not. And a lot of people probably hate me for saying that, but it's not, man. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not, And like the way I see things, man, is like kind of to take it back, like even politicians are beholden to someone. So there's no like best side. It's like the only side is humanity. And what we need to understand is like going back to it is government was created initially for the people, by the people, of the people, and it is no longer that way. It is never going to be that way again.
When
it will never
did the drip
be that
happen?
Way. I don't know, man, because I know parts of history, and like part of me wants to think that it was always an illusion to tell people that we're here to protect you. We're here for you. We are the government body that's speaking on your behalf. And I that's not to say that there are not good people in government or in political positions. I think there's tons of good people that are powerless, that are maybe delusional to think that they have power. Because at the end of the day, money is what makes the calls. That's all it comes back to. And so, like, to me, it's laughable to see people fighting over their side, their political side. I think it's hilarious because they're being sold into this bread and circuses, man. Politics is a show. It's a giant show. Why should you have a politician who is literally getting funded by private interests on either side? Doesn't matter, Republican, Democrat, whatever. Only two parties ever win in America, which is just a problem to understand in and of itself. Why are there only two choices? Real choices. The rest are just a lie to make you think you have a choice. And they're being funded by private interests, pharmaceutical, war, agricultural, chemical. Why does no one understand that? They're beholden to those interests. They're only Trump, Biden, Kamala, whoever. They're only doing what their people who paid for them to be there want them to do. So you can hate Trump for what he says. You can hate Biden for what he says. It doesn't fucking matter who the person is. If Trump was removed tomorrow, they would put another person in. that would back their stuff, back their plays, because
Correct.
they paid to have that person in place. They own them. Your government is owned everywhere throughout the world.
That's hard
And
to
the
hear.
ones who are not owned are the ones who are ostracized. The ones who are nationalists, the ones who actually care about their people, are the ones that we're told to fear. The ones that who are our enemies. When it comes down to it, man. I'm not saying they're good people. I'm not saying that Putin is a good person. But when you look at everything that Putin does for his country, maybe he's not perfect, but he does it for his country. Why does Putin ban GMOs? Why does Putin ban pesticides? Because he does it in the interest of his country, of his people. He's flawed at the end of the day too. But it's not a system like America where there's people he's beholden to people. As far as I understand, I could be completely wrong.
I don't understand why we still use pesticide at scale in America while we have so much good technology to do it a different way.
Don't make me go down that road, man. That'll be an hours-long conversation.
That's right.
That's all the monetary system of destroying your health, making you dependent on their medication. That is not a healing thing. It's a Band-Aid. And then full circle back again. Why during the pandemic, there's gyms are closed, farms are closed, farmers markets are closed, but McDonald's is open, drugstores are open, liquor stores are open and thriving, strip clubs are open and thriving. Why is all that open?
I didn't know that. That's crazy. I didn't pay attention. Oh shit.
It's all, and like people want to say you're a conspiracy theorist, this and that, blah blah blah. It would never be, calculate. It's all calculated, man. It's all at the end of the day. Greed runs the whole machine. That's why there's super PACs. That's why there's big industry that literally legislators are lobbying for those industries to succeed and be as billionaire, trillionaire-tastic as they can be, while the rest of the world struggles and is on the streets, and we're sold fentanyl, and we're given pain pills, and we're kept under their thumb, and we're kept sick, we're kept ill, we're kept in these situations. It's just a circle, man. It's a vicious circle. So it's I think being an American is like, I think it's a blessing in so many ways, man. But I also don't think that like the American dream is the American dream that we are sold. A lot of times I'm like, shit, take me to, somewhere else where I can just live without any of this nonsense, man, because America is just as flawed as anywhere else, maybe even more so than other places, I've been to some of the slummest like places in the world, man, that have had the most beautiful people that I've met,
See?
I've been to people like places where there's no electricity, places where there's literally sewage that runs through the middle of the street, and those people will literally have given me the shirt off their back. It's a mindset, man. It's a mindset. And those are the people who understand what's going on in America when our own people here don't even understand. They understand because they've lived in actual poverty.
See? I feel like there's so many things to work on in America. That's why I feel like artists will never die if we tackle the right problems to solve and actually making our art works. That's the missing piece. You and I, we both know that, okay, I want to talk about this. I can do this. I can deliver to the audiences. But then, the biggest missing piece is here. The audience do nothing. At the end of the day, they listen to my whole damn record and then they don't do anything.
Right over the head.
Right over the head. They don't change the political view. They don't go out, work more. They don't change their education. They don't eat better. They don't do anything.
They're equating like that style of music, that's fast food music, with the music that has substance, like health food music. They treat it on the same level because they don't know any better.
They don't know any better. That is the reality, and we have to find a way to fix that. Because now, not just we cater it to the right people who already have a taste for health music, but now we have to create what the industry been done so well, is create the needs to consume healthy food, healthy music, healthy art. Because the past
Mind shift.
the
mindset shift. Yep.
That's why you see in the past 20 years, so many rappers get signed, so many records come out, so many culture shift to go from nuclear family, working on a nice job, doing the right thing, to living a fast lane, Lamborghini at 22.
Yep.
Get 5 bitches a night.
Yep.
Don't care about what people saying. You don't need to be smart to be rich. Who the hell in the history is smart and not rich?
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Dude, and not only that, not only for men, but for women too.
For women too.
No man, I don't need no kids, blah, blah, blah. I'm better than men. I'm independent. No, man. This is all back to human nature and where we fit in nature, man. Adam and Eve, That's right. Back to the beginning, back to basics. They're destroying all of those basics, taking down the pillars, like you said, nuclear family. Huge one, man. That was the whole, all the rich people were doing cocaine. All the rich people were doing cocaine. Were they going to prison? Nope. You know who went to prison? The black dads. They made crack cocaine, and then they took all the black dads and put them in prison. Why? To destroy the nuclear family. Cat Williams will tell you all about this. It's like this is the calculated destruction of our society, of a strong society, of a resolute society, of a self-sustaining society. That's what it comes down to.
Correct. And it's so far when it comes to the damages, but the root cause are so few. The first thing is education.
Yep.
Remember, all immigrants come here for a reason, because I can speak on that because I am an immigrant. Yep. I came here 7 years ago. I know how different it is to live in a third world country than to live in a first world country. Very different. Shit, I never touched a suit before.
Damn.
I'm only see it on movies.
Yep.
And then I came to America and I touched a suit that made out of wool for the first time. I said, like, damn. I can never imagine a day that I can actually own a suit.
Yep.
I never see myself in a suit. And I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with it. And now I wear a suit every day.
Damn.
And I'm saying, damn, there's something about America, the power of America that we are having here. But somehow we let private entity breaking down the solid structure so they can sell you subscription to all the products that they can come up with.
Yep.
If every healthy man have the mind, the body, and the heart right, that man will get laid. I can tell you that basic. Even if the competition is hard, you might not get the 10 out of 10. You might not. But you will get a 6 out of 10 that will love you 100% for who you are. And will fight for you, will work with you, and build you up to become a 10 out of 10 man.
Big facts.
Big facts. Because remember, all females are betting on a man's future.
Yep.
Same thing in Animal Kingdom. I'm betting on you because you look healthy, you look strong, you're being able to hunt a bigger animal. So I know that if I have your baby, you're being able to protect me and the kids.
Yep.
So I'm betting on you, even though you do not hunt a buffalo yet. I don't see no meat on the table. No animals ever done that except human.
Yep.
We evolved in a crooked way. That we say right now, we teach the kid, if the man is not rich, don't marry him.
Yep.
If the man is fucked up, don't marry him. If the man is X, Y, and Z, don't marry him. Dude, he's 18.
Yeah.
What the hell can he do at 18?
Literally.
Nothing.
And then that in turn makes that person who could have been a great person, a great man, turn to those basic things, human temptations, rap songs, rap music, and try to live that lifestyle because they think that will bring them back to the 10 out of 10. That will bring them the love and whatever that they need or that they desire, That's right. The industry design is so interesting when you start to break down how do they make their money. Yep.
OnlyFans is basically just a bigger strip club but online.
Literally.
Everybody vote with their dollar, throwing cash at the bitches that they like. You like this girl right here, you subscribe to her. You like this woman right here, you subscribe to her. It's just a strip club publicly.
It's even like prostitution, man. It's like that bad level, you know, like maybe not physical, but it's, dude, you're literally paying for sex. That's it.
That's what Tinder is for in the first place.
Yep.
Tinder want to keep you in the loop.
Yep.
They want you to have sex.
They don't want you to have a relationship. They want you, They want you flipping through people and casual sex and all that, man. Because
remember, a doctor need patient. Yep. If a doctor cure you, he's out of job.
Literally.
If there's an industry created, if there's a product created, there's always, at the end of the day, a way to retain customer.
Yep.
The way to keep you in the cycle and spend more money on their product, whether through subscription or better products or somehow referral. It just, as we always doing that as our method of doing our business too.
Yep.
But we have to use it to understand the business that not creating good, creating more bad than good. Sure, you can subscribe to this lady right here, get your sexual urge out, release it into the air and you feel good.
Yep.
But many people right now, another problem that beside the identity crisis, because it started with that.
Yeah.
Because we don't have an identity, we cannot communicate with other people.
Right.
If today, I don't know who I am, Jonathan, I cannot reach out to you and give a call to you and introduce to you who I am as we might. What am I doing? Why am I talking to you?
Right.
What do I have to offer? I don't know. And you will not spend your time with me.
Right.
Because I don't have a good enough reason for you to spend the time with me.
Right.
And OnlyFans understand that problem because all these young men don't know how to talk.
Yep.
They don't know how to dress. They look bad, so they feel insecure. So the only way to take that away from them is, okay, I create this app right here with all these beautiful women on here for $9.99 a month. You don't have to show your face. You don't have to do anything. You only need to text them, pay them the money, and stay anonymous.
Yep.
And that's cured out a little bit of the problem, but it's not permanently cured.
Nope.
And then AI robot is coming, sir. Yep. China's already making a bunch of dolls that look like human beings with AI brain on the top of it.
Yep.
Blade Runner is coming up. Blade Runner
2030.
Yes, sir. The movie is Blade Runner 2049, right? We are very close. I think by that time we already have that industry. Right now we already have it. 5 years from now, when AI take another big step in their development, we will start to see. This is why I'm so scared of this. But at the same time, I'm excited. I want to have a butler that is an AI robot in my house that's going to clean the house.
Let's go.
But I don't want my daughter to date an AI robot.
Yep.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, dude. Yep.
Because remember, AIs are designed to serve human. They don't design to reason with you. If they design to reason with you, the company don't make money.
Yep.
So in the future, when I'm not there, in the presence of my daughter, and when she need a man to tell her something that is wise, that is loving, she will go to the AI and chit-chatting all night long, and the AI will feed her with all the sweet words she want to hear, all the crazy things she want to see. Because they can create images too.
Yep.
And videos too. So in the future, we have another problem to solve. Every solution coming out is creating another problem. It's yin and yang, always like that, always push and pull like that.
Yep.
But for this right now, what we can do, that's why when I love to talk about the food industry, is my song, when I create the song Gummy Bear 500, it's about cloning food in California a few years ago. When we start cloning chicken.
Yeah.
We already have a company right now on Business Insider on YouTube that you can go watch. A piece of chicken breast that is clone made. It's around $22 right now.
Disgusting.
A whole chicken at Costco right now is around $12 to get a regular chicken. A piece of breast that is big like this.
Yep.
500 grams, 700 grams. $22. And it tastes exactly like chicken because it's made from the DNA of a chicken.
Wow.
And in the Gummy Bear 500 song I made, that's a concept word I create. I say in the future, if we become so independent and we start farming, we're going to have an industry about producing food.
Yep.
And that's going to be 100% man-made food. Regular people will eat that lab-grown food.
Yeah.
And only the richest people
asked.
will have their own land, will pasturate their food, and they have actually beef steak that is actually come from a cow.
That's what I'm doing, man. That's why I bought my house. I have 5 acres here, and that's what I'm doing. I'm growing my own homestead because what you're saying right now is I know that's coming. And
it's coming. It's coming fast.
Chickens. I have my own rabbits. We eat rabbit. I have my own goats, because that, like you said, the rich people, that's what they're doing, man. So I'm going to do what they're doing because they're the ones who own those companies.
Yes, sir.
Feeding the food to the peasants who don't know any better. Mm-hmm. I'm not rich, but I'm not a dumbass.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. I'm agree 100%.
Yeah.
That's why it's not about not having the money that costs you trouble. Yep. It's not having the right mindset to think through stuff that costs you trouble.
Facts.
You don't need $1 million to live the lifestyle you need right now. Maybe a few $100,000 will solve all the problem you have right now. And there's way to make it in America.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, why do we do all the things we do? Why we make the money, why we buy the home, why we stay homestead is the quality that we want to have in our life. Clean food, clean water, healthy lifestyle, in touch with nature, doing things that is community engaged, family based, close connection. Those are the real thing. And the only way to commercialize all of those things is to cut the links between them.
Yep.
So we individualize all segment and sell product to that. You need sex? Go to Tinder. If you need food, go to McDonald's. If you need clothes, go here. We commercialize everything.
Yep.
We make money out of everything. In the capitalist society, we say that, oh man, the corporation run everything. However, it's the double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because it's run by greed and money. As a consumer, you have the way to defend yourself is if you don't like them, don't spend money.
100%.
That's it.
Yep.
Period.
Literally.
Period.
Literally, man. You said it. It's like if you don't like it, don't shop at those places. Don't spend your money at McDonald's. Don't be spending all your paycheck on alcohol, spirits. Don't be buying into the system. And then if you do, then don't complain about it because you're the one who's supporting it. You're the one who's upholding their entire business.
That's right.
Yep.
The reason why I love supporting the Second Amendment in America is this. When we're approaching that and these industries start to collapse because they run out of the fuel sources, we don't pumping up money in anymore.
Yep.
If they want to do the brutal way, which is they want to bring on the war. War is not bad. War in history of humankind is the greatest reset button.
Yep.
If we cannot resolve with words and people anymore, if you don't want to listen to me anymore, and you want to use your gun, then let us do it.
Yep.
But at that time, you got to be able to stand for yourself.
Yep. You have to be able to defend yourself, man. That's what it's in there. That's what people don't understand. They think it's a fascination and they think guns are the problem and all this and stuff. And I mean, I'm not like a huge gun nut, but I'm with you. I support the Second Amendment because it's there when the First Amendment fails, which it's already doing right now. People are getting in prison for literally like dictatorships type stuff, like you have to be able to defend yourself when it comes to that.
Correct.
Push comes to shove,
First Amendment, I'm recommend everybody to practice their free speech as much as possible, talking about problems like you and I talk. You and I can do this in America.
Yep.
But if we're in China right now, I think the police already here.
Oh, 100%, man.
And you and I already gone. Like, we already throw in jail 30 minutes ago.
And we're getting there. It's getting to that place, At some point, America will be at that place if we don't change. If we don't change that.
If we stop mentioning about our privileges and our right to maintain free speech, to have the power to change society. Because right now they are caught on a lie that, oh man, corporation taking over, government taking over, and we don't have the control to change. And that is false. They selling you a lie and you believe in it.
Yep.
And you
absolutely
giving away
false.
your power. You giving away your power. You say, oh, just rule me, man. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Because it's easier to get lead than actually taking responsibility.
Right.
Why do I have to wake up and work on myself where I can just do bare minimum and someone else going to take the risk for me? Yep. Someone else going to take care of me, right? I don't have to do nothing. Why do I have to cook where I can go to McDonald's and eat fast? Yep. So that is one of the things that I really hate personally is sloth and laziness.
Yep. I
hate that. I learned that from my uncle.
I'm with you.
My uncle say that to me so many times that I say, why you keep repeating me to this stuff? He said, you can do anything, boy. You can do anything. But the only thing I don't want to see you to do is being lazy.
Yep.
If you're being lazy, I can't save you. Doesn't matter how much money I pump to you. Doesn't matter how much connection I give you. Doesn't matter how much help people are going to give you. You will die in life. You will not succeed at all levels.
Yep.
If you are not lazy and you have the will to fight, that's why America is the will to fight for freedom, the will to do X, Y, and Z, the will to become better, the will to become a healthy man, the will to become the wealthy man.
Yep.
The will. We have to keep reminding, I will doing this, I'm starting this. This is one of the first series. Yesterday, I'm interviewing one of my beautiful friends from England.
Heck yeah.
She's a bass player from Ottawa, from England. We're talking about this too. We, as artists, we have to do our art the way that we like it and then educate our fan. I'm recommending you create content that you love to create and supporting your already existed fan on why you do what you do and reminding them how great we are to have the privilege we have in America. Because complaining won't solve.
Nope.
I want people to hear our conversation a few days from now after I'm putting this video together. Yep. And I want to hear the people said, I listened to y'all and I'm start taking action.
Yep.
I'm start going to the gym. I'm start working on my job more seriously. I'm start going back to school. I'm quit doing drugs. I want to see people doing that. We are not here to teaching you to become a millionaire.
Yep.
I don't sell you no courses. I'm here to tell you as a human being together. I don't care you are rich or poor. It's none of my business.
Yep.
What I care is, are you a happy person? Because the world is round. I might bump up to you at some point. And if our life crosses, then I hope there's going to be a nice engagement.
Yep.
I know that I'm going to enjoy your company. Instead of fight for the left or for the right, which is yes.
It is, man. It's all just those are just divide and conquer tools to keep us like from what you're saying, uniting. We always have more in common than we have in like apart, you know, and that's what people don't understand, man. They let that become their identity. They let that separate them from each other and divide themselves from each other and make everything their enemy that doesn't agree with them, instead of sitting and listening and realizing that we all, for the most part, want the same things or need the same things, whether or not we want to believe or speak it, you know?
Mm-hmm. I do believe that our audiences are very wealthy, both spiritually and physically.
Yep.
I believe that our art should make them become healthier, wealthier, and live a better life.
Agreed.
Don't you think that if any song that you create, any releases that you do for your audiences, the moment you release them and your audience have a chance to consume them, they 10x their money. They're improving their lives. Their kids are willing to talk to them more. They go back to the people that they have hurt and say sorry.
Yep.
They done the right thing. And then every time you release new music, for them, they say, I'm willing to take a risk on Jonathan because I know his intention are good. And I do receive the benefit from listening to his music. That is more a solid thing that I want to tell you today, introduce myself to you, is we creating stuff, not just for escape,
Yep.
but actually improving your lives in a good direction.
Yep.
We artists are creating art with good intention to make your life 10 times better.
Yep.
And that is a result that you and I are gonna get when we do such a good job, is we gonna have everything we wish for.
Yep.
A healthy family, money in the bank, the car, the house, all the material stuff. The day you realize that the material stuff are just trophies of the person that you become,
Yep.
you will stand up for yourself every day. And you will stop worrying about what people like you for the stuff that you have or not.
Yep.
You will care less about that. You will love yourself more. You will feel no depression anymore
Yep.
because people value you for what you can input in this society. And before they know you for who you are, like you and I, they have to see what you have to offer. And what's better than being yourself, producing the best art that can create the most impact, real impact
Yep.
in the world. Influencer, right? We are influencer, right? So actually influence something, dude.
Yeah.
Make a change.
Influence something good.
Oh, yeah.
Influence people to be better, man.
That's
Not
right.
just to seek these basic things that are, at the end of the day, like you said, trophies, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're all just clothes on the person, you know?
I want you to become a millionaire, Jonathan. Like I do.
Thank you. Thank you,
I do
man.
want you to
Likewise.
become a millionaire for this reason. Not for the money. I want you to become a millionaire so the day you have the $1 million in your bank account, you can give it all away on that day and don't feel like you have lost something.
Yeah.
I truly want that.
Thank you, brother.
Your wife and your kid will feel like, Dad, why are you doing that? Why are you giving away the $1 million? Have you done so many things to achieve that much money? And I want you to look at them and say, it's not how much I made. It's who I become that's most important to me.
Yeah.
Because the moment I can make that $1 million, I can make another one.
Yep.
And another one. And another one. It's not the money that's the problem. It's me. I know who I am now.
Yeah.
I know what I'm capable of. I know that I'm going to be a great parent to you guys because I'm working so hard to become a person that I never been. That's why I wish for all my friends, including you, to have a goal on your goal list. I will become a millionaire by this time, by the time you're 40, by the time you're 35, by the time you're 38. Just for the fact that it's something to push you for a greater goal. You feel me?
I love that, man. You give me goosebumps.
Yeah, man. That's how I wish all my guests feel when they come up to this podcast with me.
Hey, this has been for sure my favorite podcast, interview, whatever, just conversation, man, that I've had that has come from music thus far, man. I'm not just saying that. It's because it's real.
It is.
A lot of times it's just nonsense about like, oh, well, what's your favorite song, blah, 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 this and that. But this is like real, it's like real life shit, man. That it's like, all that other shit doesn't matter, man. Like, it's interesting, of course. I like to see my artists talk about whatever the fuck too, but it's like, dude, this is the person behind
That's
the
right.
creation, and that's what like we really need to get back to, because that will in turn create a better society, man. If we understand each other at our basic, at ourselves, at our true human nature, you know, who we are, our identity.
I agree. That's our job. That is what missing from college when it comes to education in art. I graduated from college, from UNCSA. I graduated a year ago.
Yeah, congrats, brother.
I appreciate it, with a degree to my hand. And it takes me so long and study by myself too to realize that there's a giant hole in my degrees that I'm missing. That is the identity of art itself. What is its purpose? Beside the flashing scale, beside the flashing costume, beside all the light. What is the main reason why a human being comes to me as an artist? Why do they need me for? And our job at the end of the day is to give them an environment where they can find their identity. The highest transformation art is that its job. It's to transform a person to find their identity. Yes, sir.
Nailed it, man.
Jonathan, it has been a great time with you, Jonathan. I'm telling you that.
Likewise, brother.
Please send me some of your latest work, like performing videos or music that you're about to release, so I can put some short videos together and post it and tag you in. How about that?
That'd be awesome, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, brother.
Let's do it again soon, Jonathan. I love to have a conversation with you, sir.
All love, brother. It's been amazing, man. And I'm going to go listen to your music too, so
I appreciate
you,
it.
brother. Yeah,
all right, man. Jonathan. Have a good day.
You too, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. God bless, brother. All love.
God bless America. Let's go.
Peace out, my brother.
I see ya, Jonathan. I see ya.